d- d- going.
Hi, everyone on the internet. It's the Season 5 Dominion League Championship match. We're going to watch it, and Wandering Winter here and I are
I'm
going to.
I'm disappointed now.
Uh oh.
I had this whole intro planned out, and then you just did a normal intro.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wandering Winter has an intro that he would like to share with us. Let's hear it. I want to hear this.
Welcome to the championship of the Dominion League. Let's meet our players. From the Netherlands, it's Steph. And going first from the United States of America, it's Mick Seanock.
Hold on, I used to have a sound box. I could get you some canned applause. Would you like that?
Ooh, canned
Some.
applause would be great, but I don't think we have time for it.
Uh
Mick
oh.
Seanock has already bought a silver.
Oh, snap. So, this board was submitted by Solnet. Thank you, Solnet, for submitting this board. So the big thing is, I mean, Ghost Ship is a pretty devastating attack, but it looks like there's enough synergy that revolves around Horn of Plenty that you can build up quite profusely, yes?
Yeah, yeah. This board, I think, so Spice Merchant helps you get rid of your coppers. Um, and once you can start to get expensive cards, you can use Apprentice to draw anyway. Boom, 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 boom. And then you're probably looking to end it with Horn of Plenty. The Ghost Ship attack definitely hurts, but it's not the greatest thing ever. Counterfeit also helps you to trash your treasures potentially. Um,
Yeah,
but I
there's
think spending your fives on that. Mm,
yeah. Wandering Winter and I had done some playtesting on all these kingdoms, and it's really tough to figure out in the early game what's right. Because Counterfeit's such a good card, and it is important because, the Horn of Plenty split matters less with Counterfeit out there, yeah?
right. That's the other thing is playing a counterfeit on a Horn of Plenty is a bunch of extra gains, and it most likely. I mean, it has to be a mirror because you'll just if you the only other strategy is to go for something like money with butchers and or ghost ships, but I mean that's going to be really really slow, particularly on a colony board. The engine will have enough time to go off.
Yeah, you can
Um,
easily get all 8 colonies in one turn very quickly, especially if your opponent isn't playing Ghost Ship on you.
yeah, well, and you don't even need all 8 colonies probably because you could just finish off the provinces. They're not going to have
Yeah.
5 colonies by then or whatever. So I mean, it's going to be an engine mirror, and if it's going to be an engine mirror, then it's really going to come down to very tricky pile endings that are going to pop up like out of nowhere, which can make counterfeit better. Butcher is something that you could potentially see because it's just generally very strong, but you could also potentially see it skipped because they'll look at all the other fives that you want.
Yeah.
Apprentice is going to have to be the key part of the draw, though, because nothing else can just draw you. I mean, I guess if you have like 8 ghost ships and 8 workers villages, but that's you're just never going to have time for that, right?
Apprentice is just much faster, yeah.
Um, and
Ooh, Steph
here we
picks up an
see
Apprentice on
Steph's
turn 3.
started with Apprentice for his first 5. We'll see if Mick Seanock, who's tracked his deck to know that
Yeah,
he
he
needed to take the coins to get 5 there. He goes for a ghost ship.
I like Ghost Ship early because, I mean, early on getting hit by the Ghost Ship is just so bad.
Right. The other thing is with the trash for benefit of Apprentice and Butcher, getting extra spice merchants is a lot more palatable than it sometimes is. Because after you run out of fuel, so what?
Right.
I'm interested though that Mick Seanock has picked up a scavenger.
He had $4 on
Not
turn 3. I mean, you want the unique, you want some economy to continue to hit 5, and Scavenger is still a good card. I like it.
I'm not. I'm not sure. I mean,
What would you
I
have gotten?
well, probably not scavenger.
Yeah, but
Either
what?
I would think about Spice Merchant or Workers Village probably,
Hmm.
but we'll see. I mean, I don't think it's crazy, but
I mean, he had no terminals in his deck at that point.
sure, sure.
Also, he wasn't
No,
guaranteed to hit
it's
5 on turn 4 at that point either, if his Spice Merchant had missed the shuffle.
yeah. If his Spice Merchant missed, that's true.
Actually, it's sort of likely he wasn't going to hit 5. Because even if his Spice Merchant missed, if 2 coppers also missed, he would have been in bad shape.
Yep. Um,
Ooh, Mixinox
if
gets
he
a lot.
discards the deck here,
Yeah, he can
then
top deck that
oh,
Spice
but
Merchant.
he can. Yeah, yeah. And he's certainly gonna cycle through here because he just wants to get back to all that stuff.
Yeah, so he drew almost all
Six
of his deck.
here. I think they really need to start thinking about getting Horns of
Hornet.
Plenty, and that's exactly what makes
Yeah.
because that's going to be your eventual economy.
Right.
Um, Steph gets a poorhouse, which is
I
perfectly fine.
I remember
Yeah,
playtesting this board, getting a poorhouse, thinking
yeah,
it was going to be good, and it really wasn't.
yeah. I had a butcher. I remember when I played a practice game with you on the board. I had a butcher, and I butchered one of my shelters into a poorhouse, and then
Wished
I
it was a
never played
copper.
it before I got it with the butcher again and butchered it into a copper because I just wanted the copper for a spice merchant.
Yeah.
And you don't really want to spend that much time getting workers' villages, so um,
I mean, you want maybe 1 or 2, so you can play all your
well, I mean,
terminals and get the
you definitely
unique.
want some because you want to at least have one ghost ship, um, just because the attack is that definitely slows them down. Um, he got to discard the deck here, I think.
What is it that he wants to top deck here? Oh wait, he can't draw it.
Well, what I'm saying is he just wants to
Cycle.
get all this stuff back faster.
He's probably thinking about what's in that and making sure he knows. Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that
So
actually was a decent starting hand for next time. Still probably worth it.
I again think you want Horn of Plenty here because your horns aren't going to be great yet, but wow,
Well,
a
third,
third ghost ship.
I remember playtesting getting a lot of ghost ships. I just wish that they were apprentices earlier.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you kind of need Horns of Plenty before you want to get too many apprentices because you need stuff to trash, and he's starting to run out. But I think I would have gone for a Horn of Plenty because then you can just start gaining. I mean, even silver starts to not be the worst thing here just because you want junk to trash more than anything. You want to be able to move through it. I mean, I guess he doesn't have the apprentices up yet, but I mean, neither of them do really.
Yeah, I think they both have 1 apprentice. Mixinox got 1 horn and 3 ghost ships. And wow,
Yeah.
Steph's only other 5 cost is a ghost ship. Steph has to be way behind here, doesn't he?
Well, but he has the two spice merchants, right? And he does have a poorhouse, which is going to help him get more money.
Oh, and a
He gets a
butcher.
butcher here.
Why not a
Interesting.
horn?
Um,
He
to
seemed to
turn
be.
spice merchants into fives, I would assume.
Oh, that's a very good reason. Yeah. Okay.
Because I mean, the thing is, you could want to apprentice them instead and have you draw cards, but his deck's problem isn't drawing, right? He's already gotten it thin. He can draw it. It's he needs to start getting those payload.
Yeah. Uh, Probably butcher before first horn. That's probably okay.
I mean, he can butcher into the horn and probably draw it.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. He only has one ghost ship for draw.
He has an
But
apprentice.
yeah, and an apprentice. That's true. So here he's obviously going to play this Horn of Plenty. Um,
Two,
and
4, 5, 6, 7,
I
8
would have,
uniques.
yeah, I tend to not count because it doesn't make a difference. But
Well, how many more do you
But it's
need
like,
before you can get to the
well,
things you want?
if it's mid-turn, I might count and see how many I'm gonna have. But if it's in the buy phase like this, and he's really going hard on those ghost ships. Wow.
I mean, you do want to play them every turn, but
Yeah, but I'm
you
more
also want
inclined
to
to
do stuff.
don't really need to play four of them because it only draws you two cards, and the attack doesn't stack. Like I would be inclined to want to start slowly building up Horn of Plenty, Apprentice, something to trash an Apprentice, and start building up that way.
Hmm.
Um,
You can Horn gain Platina, just draw your deck.
I suppose this is somewhat more reliable than a deck that relies heavily on Apprentice because
Really?
no, just in the end game. Well, and if you're getting Ghost Ship attacked, you might not kick off if you need to have a lot of apprentices and then something that you're willing to trash with them. I mean, which generally by then apprentice is fine, but um, you can potentially run into an issue if you have a lot of horns and you end up with like horn, and I have a dud hand. I don't think that's worth. Are you snickering at my horn?
No, I'm snickering at something in the chat. Finish up and I'll say
No, I'm done now.
it. Steph is going to build something very different, winning handily, and the strategy is Navigator to line up his villages. Thank you, JSH, and assemble me. I am amused. So this is not what Steph wanted to see after trashing that Spice Merchant. I think he wanted
But
to butcher that Spice Merchant, and instead he had to play it.
this isn't so bad, right? He can.
It's not terrible.
Wow,
But he can't get a Horn and play it this turn.
That's true.
I think with a better draw he could have, because like, he's way overdrawing now.
He, he he could have. I mean, he could have played the Necropolis, butchered the Workers' Village. I mean, I don't think you want to do that because you need the Workers' Village also. Um, and you wouldn't get to play your Poorhouse, so.
So he could have gained and played a Horn this turn. That's true. But now
But
trashing
I
the
don't.
silver also is not very good.
I'm not sure that that's the greatest. Well, I don't think he particularly cares about trashing the silver. Here he's going to play Necro Poorhouse Butcher, and
Probably
probably
buy
buy
a Horn.
a Horn, I would guess. He's also starting to run out of apprentice targets. There's pretty much just the Spice Merchant.
Yeah, and he really wanted to butcher that this turn. So the plan from last turn that involved getting the butcher has fallen through basically just due to bad luck. And this is going to set Steph back like almost a whole turn.
Well, I think at least a whole turn. Because, I mean, if he would have been able to gain the Horn and that he's just a full gain behind and he's drawing his deck every turn, that's going to compound. That's pretty bad.
Right.
Um,
I mean, that's why I choose to
so
measure it in turns. But
he got
yeah,
a village and a poorhouse, which I think that's just it's extra reliability, and he's probably planning on butchering anyway.
Is Steph gonna skip
and
Horn
it's
of
more
Plenty?
money. He might. I mean, he can get money this way. I can't imagine that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's more likely that he's just delaying Horn of Plenty.
How's he gonna? I mean, how do you draw without Horn of Plenty to gain things? I don't think you really can. There's no way to keep value in your deck other than Village Ghost Ship, which Steph is way behind on.
And Mixinox trying to figure out whether he wants a poorhouse. I don't think he does.
I don't think so
because money is not really where his deck is having potential problems. It's the getting the villages and the ghost ships. That's why he got the village there. Neither of them are doing very many impressive things economically speaking. They're drawing their decks though. Well, generally, Mick is a little bit worse on that front, a little bit better economically.
Yeah, he still has some coppers.
This game's not entirely clear yet.
My money's on Mixinox.
Your money is on Mixinock. This is another kind of bad draw for Steph because how is he going to butcher and play something?
He would have to butcher a poorhouse.
Well, yes, but he can only butcher that into a 4 cost,
Right.
so he's not going to do that.
Is he going to butcher the workers' village? Then he can't draw what he plays his turn. I don't.
I
Why did
I
he play the
think
ghost
he's
ship?
actually not going to butcher anything yet. Why did he play the ghost ship? Well, what else was he going to do?
Gain something. If he's not going to butcher anything, then playing the ghost ship there is just fine.
I mean, I think that's the thing is what was he going to butcher there? The only thing he could have butchered was the ghost ship, and I don't think you want to butcher the ghost ship away.
So, so DG in the chat brings up a point that the workers' villages are low. Seeing that that's the only village on the board, if Steph plans to ignore Horn of Plenty, he's got 2 workers' villages and a necropolis, and that's going to affect the payload that he can get.
Yeah, except you can use apprentice, right?
You can,
And I
but
don't know
then
how
how many?
easy it is to transition into that, but
But like, how many poorhouses can you play? And then also
well,
sidestepping to
but
deny workers'
just
villages.
because he's doing the poorhouse thing now doesn't mean that that's what his long-term plan is going to be. It doesn't mean that if Mick just suddenly ran for villages that Steph couldn't pivot out. Like I think he can. I really think he can do that. Um, I kind of expect him here to get a workers' village on a 5 cost, but I'm not sure. I mean, if he's really going hard for the poorhouse strategy, he'd go like workers' village, poorhouse, probably. I don't particularly believe in that.
Sort of wondering what Steph's long-term plan is.
Well, I'm kind of
It's
wondering
tough.
because I think that the real strength, what you eventually want to do, is use your trash for benefit, your apprentices and your butchers. But to do that, you need to get lots of to make full advantage of it. You want to get lots of expensive fuel, which I think you want to do Horn of Plenty.
I just don't see
So he's
any
getting
other
two
way to do
fives.
it.
Oh, he's getting a Ghost Ship Workers Village Poorhouse. It looks like they're both really avoiding. And here we could see Mixinock try to seed himself up by playing Scavenger, Necropolis, Ghost Ship. Or, this order works too.
I mean, you probably
but I'm
just
not
want to
sure.
top deck a village here. Yeah,
Well, either
there's.
the village or an apprentice.
Then you have to. Well, I guess anything but the
The
horn is
apprentice,
something you'd be happy to
well,
apprentice.
the copper. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably better to get the village. It gets you, I mean, as long as you don't hit, it's got to be the
Spice
village, right?
Merchant Horn, yeah.
Well, but he's going to have another card with it, and then the village draws a 3rd card, which means he's
Yeah.
unlikely to hit. He'd have to hit
There's like
Spice
no
Merchant,
combination.
Horn, Copper. Those Spice
Then you
Merchant,
Spice
Horn.
Merchant the copper, yeah.
Well, Spice Merchant, Horn would be the only thing, or Apprentice Copper anyway. He took the yeah. See, this works very nicely for him. Here. So what's the last card in his deck? I can't remember.
Think it's another village?
Well, he's gonna get a 5 cost here, and he's gonna presumably buy a village. Oh, he's just getting 2, so he is
They're
going on for that denial
racing villages.
plan.
I mean, I don't like it after
I mean,
playtesting.
they're better players than me. I just
But like, I I don't see what a million villages gets you, and I don't because you don't
I
really
don't,
need
because you don't
villages.
need the villages. Like they've really honed in on this workers' village ghost ship thing. But I mean, the other thing is horns. Um, they give you expensive stuff as apprentice fuel, and I mean, I have to imagine they see that though, right? So, and they are better players, so I'm not convinced that I'm right and they're wrong or anything. Um, he's deciding.
DG says getting a million workers villages gets you enough buys to empty the poorhouse pile if you need to. That is something that I hadn't thought of.
I mean, that's true if you have some money, which means you need some poorhouses. But
I mean,
first of
Horn
all,
also works.
you need a third pile, and horns can
DG
can't
says
get
you
enough
can't
terminals
get
in
enough
play
terminals. Yeah.
for the
For
horn of. You don't need that many terminals. You
so
need. I
you
mean,
can do
you need a couple.
apprentice,
You need
counterfeit, workers
you surely
village,
need
ghost ship,
a few workers villages, but
horn, platinum, copper, silver, gold. You can get 10 with only
well,
one workers village and a ghost ship, and that doesn't count spice merchant. I mean, you really only need 8.
yeah, I don't think you want that many different treasures. But I mean, I think you need more than one village. I think you need two or three at least, but I don't think you need, you know, tons.
Looks like Steph has somewhat of a dud turn here. There are 4 cards he didn't draw. One of them's a village, one of them's a poorhouse. I know that.
One of them's a ghost ship. I'm pretty sure he got a second one.
Yeah.
And he should still have an apprentice, right?
Okay, so now he's going for horn. Yeah.
I I see I would be wanting to not have so many ghost ships here. I'd want to be they have 5 costs, and I want to apprentice those rather than try to do this dance with workers village ghost ship, workers village ghost ship.
Yeah.
It's just so much more work.
More work?
But
Maybe you need a village for Peanut to do the work. So good.
oh wow,
That's a slow clap for me. Thank you, Wandering Winter.
that was supposed to be a slow clap for you, but that last clap was a little bit louder than I intended.
Ooh, I found my little box of canned sounds. I finally found where that was. We definitely need that.
His horns are at 5 here, and he has to get the apprentice to make them worth that much. Butcher I like because you can turn these extra ghost ships that I don't think are good into, you know, stuff.
Well, okay,
Now
he
he's
could have
thinking
played
about
a
getting a poorhouse.
Necropolis.
Oh, that's true. You can get them up to 6 that way.
5 without apprentice.
Right. And he did not buy a poorhouse. Interesting.
How many treasures does he have? 1 horn?
Yeah, just the horn.
Yeah, I'd have to say poorhouse is probably okay. Unless he's not hurting for economy. He's got a scavenger in his deck for economy and a butcher, that's it?
I guess Scavenger does also help you do the trick where you top deck something and draw it, but that is something going for it.
Yeah, so in America, pretty much after this match, the Super Bowl is going to be airing. And you know, the Super Bowl, it's great. Football, it's a big thing. There was there was a comment about Super Bowl prep being this match. JSH then says, "I don't get why everyone is so excited about cereal." A bowl pun.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, just thought I'd
But
let everyone know.
typically when I get soup, I want it in a bowl. So it's not really an or proposition. I mean, I guess a logical or you can have both.
Yeah. I think what you really don't want is the soup without the bowl, because then
Right, right.
you're
I mean,
either eating it like out of a cup, which can sometimes work,
it
but it's mostly awkward.
it it really ought to be soup and bowl.
Yes, soup and bowl Sunday,
Soup and bowl.
bowl and soup Sunday. No, it doesn't sound nearly as good.
Soup and bowl. Um, just a little more on the Super Bowl thing. The world chess champion has tweeted about an
Oh,
hour ago. Looking forward to the Super Bowl, my third favorite kind of football.
so this is a cool play that Steph is doing right here. He butchered the horn into another horn to get it out of his hand. Played two poor houses so he can get two more dollars. Then Workers Village to draw it back.
It also lowers the pile by one, and it makes sure that. Well, I was going to say it makes sure that he can get the butcher in play, but you don't have to trash anything, so that doesn't matter. But yeah, yeah, it just gets him 2 money, which
It's two less coin tokens he has to spend.
and he's trying to figure out what to do here. Here it's very tactical because the game could end pretty quickly here.
You could just consider poor houses to be gone if you're looking at piles.
Well, not exactly because they contain. They're gonna have to use some gains on them, right?
Yeah, they're
Um,
buys.
he's whoa. He was thinking about platinum. He got a platinum. Wow. I guess he just wants to apprentice it to draw a lot of cards, but he doesn't need to do that, does he?
Uh,
I don't like that play at
he bought
all.
the platinum. He didn't horn gain it even. He spent three coin tokens on that.
Yeah, I don't. You could have spent one more and gotten 2 5 costs instead. And the 5 costs seem, quite frankly, better than platinum here.
Hmm.
But, I mean, like I'm saying with all this stuff, Steph is Steph. Like, he tends to know what he's doing, and,
JSH
you
says,
know.
he got a platinum? What a noob! FDS. Oh boy.
So now Mick, we got to see if Mick has a fancy play with his scavenger. I know what I would want to do would be scavenger to top deck. I would be thinking about scavenger to top deck my apprentice, play the workers village, apprentice a ghost ship.
That's, I mean,
But
we think that's
his
a good
deck is not
play.
really. I don't think it is, probably because he's constructed his deck to be drawn via ghost ship plays rather than apprenticing a bunch of stuff. Um, and in fact, he's probably butchering his apprentice the way he's built it. Now, in the chat, DG says, "Yeah, you need platinum here,"
I think
but
you
I
want to
don't
horn
know
gain it. I mean,
why.
that's the expensive thing that you want to apprentice if you want to draw.
Sure, I mean, yeah, if but this soon, wouldn't you rather have 2 5 costs?
I would rather get Horn of Plenty and get uniques to build my horns up to 9 and then get platinum. I
I
don't
mean,
think
you
he
have to
needs that
worry
kind of
about the
draw.
piles ending, but they're not ending that fast. And see, I would expect. Here's what I would expect to happen on this turn, just based on the way that Mick has built his deck. I would expect him to butcher, apprentice into probably Horn of Plenty, play Ghost Ship, play Scavenger, Horn gain 2 things, which each costs up to 5. Possibly buy a poorhouse, possibly buy a copper. Um, he can't quite end the game here, I don't think, unless he
He
maybe
butchers
just
Scavenger. It's probably better than butchering Apprentice.
no. He I guess yeah he did. Um, yeah, because the scavenger, the money isn't doing anything for you. The apprentice might be drawing you things. So here
I
he's going to get another apprentice,
think he needs to get more horns.
or he's thinking about apprentice. I think, well, you've got to worry about piles, and he's moving his mouse around like he's
I
just.
mean, he's pretty reliably
It's
drawing his deck, right?
sure.
What
I'm
what
I'm I'm saying he has to worry about the ability of either of them to end the game in their next turn.
can Steph? What can Steph do?
Steph
Steph
can,
has two horns and
and
not
and in
enough buys
fact,
to empty poorhouses.
uh, pretty close. Because the thing is, you can horn gain mid-turn off of a butcher, which lowers that more, and then I mean, because
You
you
can gain a
it could also
horn
be ended
mid-turn.
on and then play it. And the other thing is,
Steph just apprenticed to Horn of Plenty.
that doesn't surprise me. He needs to get drawing. So
So that's
Workers'
one
Village
less horn.
here, unless he's. I guess he has to calculate, right? If he. Okay. But I mean, I think if he's going to pile out, it would be on horns and ghost ships, probably. I guess he doesn't have quite enough gains for that. Horn. So he can butcher any number of things. He can apprentice. If he's going to apprentice anything here, it's going to be either Poorhouse or Necropolis. Necropolis would be a different unique, but I mean he could also butcher either of those into a Poorhouse if he's trying to lower piles. But I don't think he can do that here, at least, and also win.
DG says he suspects Steph is gonna try and get some VP this turn.
Yeah, I think he has to. I think he almost maybe needs to butcher the platinum into a colony. I mean, he might buy VP instead, but he can't pile out. And if he can't pile out, he needs to get VP to try to defend because Mick is really threatening to pile out on his next turn.
He's got like a ton of workers' villages and four horns in his deck now.
He has
Lots of pile control.
I think 4. It might be 5. I think it's 4. I don't know that. So if Steph's gonna butcher anything away, he should do that before he plays the Poorhouses. But it looks like he's just gonna play the butcher for the tokens. Uh,
Plays the poorhouses with the treasures in hand. Okay, it's consistent. He can horn gain up to 6 or 7.
yeah, he can't get a
If he gets a horn, though, he's in trouble because Mick could potentially pile out.
potential pile danger. Oh, but what else is he gonna get? Like apprentice or counterfeit is actually
Yeah, counterfeit's
Counterfeit.
just like another horn if you're using it for VP.
and it doesn't hurt the piles. Well, if you're playing it on a horn, I don't think you're using it for VP.
Yeah.
He could also potentially play it on the platinum for a quick shot in the arm, which the game's not going to last long enough for you to really not want a quick shot in the arm. So I'd really be tempted to counterfeit over horn here because horn is. I mean, I guess the thing is he's going to be buying a colony this turn, I assume.
I mean, he needs to get a colony somehow. I think he
Well,
loses
he
if he
can't get
doesn't.
it. He can't get it any other way than buying it at this point.
This is true.
So I think he's buying a colony this turn, I assume. And so maybe he's counting on. Yeah, I don't think Mick is going to have enough gains to, because Mick's.
Oh, look at that. We're admiring the Butcher art. What do you think about the art on Butcher, Wandering Winter?
I was talking about this the other day. I think I
With
might have
me, yeah.
mentioned it. You might remember that
Yeah.
he has gone for
Counterfeit and
a horn
colony.
and a counterfeit with this colony. Okay. With the Butcher art, say what you will about it, and I don't think I particularly like it in general, but the thing I like is the cleaver. Man, he's got that thing just up in the air, just ready to go down and wham, wham, just chop stuff down. Like, because that's exactly what I want to do when I play the card. Every time I play the card, I just want to go chop, chop, chop. You always want to hit something really expensive with it. You get great value.
Yeah, you
Uh,
just you really want to just rip that card in half.
well, I don't. You don't want to rip it, man. You
Yes,
want
you
to
do.
use.
You want to
No,
take
you
some
don't. You don't want
scissors.
to. No, you don't want to do a tearing motion. You want to do it like with a cleaver. You want to just come down hard, chop, like
Go in the
maybe a
kitchen, get your
sword
chef's
or an
knife.
axe or something. An
Good-
axe would be great.
Yeah.
You have a great axe lying around your house?
I think the best I have is a hatchet, man.
Well, I don't even have that. Like, I
I'm
have
sorry
like
I'm sorry I've offended you, Wandering Winter.
I have a no. I the best I have is a chef's knife. Like I don't
I mean, I would use a chef's knife over any of those things, just because
to to chop a piece of cardboard. Won't that hurt your chef's knife?
I mean, I just probably get the best cut on it. If
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah.
butcher
It's
something,
it's not about being having a delicate cut, man. You are just like there's a reason why if you butcher something, it can be it's also a verb that means like you've treated it roughly and kind of brutally, right?
I don't know. Like when I think of butcher, like the butchering that I've done in my life is I'll take a whole chicken and I'll
I
cut
mean,
it into its
yeah,
parts. That's butchering it,
if
and
you're
that's a delicate process.
that's true, and if you're butchering a piece of meat, then yes, but the broader application of the term butcher, like I butchered that, you kind of screwed it up, right? Like
Okay, that also is, but I don't think that's what's intended by the card. Although that's a great pun that I can use the next time I screw up a game with butcher in it. By the way, do you think Mixenox should apprentice as butcher here?
I mean, the thing is that's also potential gains to end the game.
Mm-hmm. But can
Um,
he
that doesn't mean it's wrong. It's
apprentice
just
as a horn instead?
okay. So here he's going to play Workers Village. He's going to play Ghost Ship, I assume, next. Because I'm pretty sure he has to play at least one more Ghost Ship, right?
I think he's got what's in that draw pile? There's a horn
I
in
don't
there.
see. I don't
think
remember.
some more
Who,
villages.
who has the two apprentices?
Steph had 2 apprentices.
Okay, yeah. I think you play a Ghost Ship here. You play the. Does he has what, one more Workers Village in there, which means he should be able to play a Ghost Ship, play a Workers Village, butcher the Ghost Ship into like a horn, play the Workers Village to draw the horn. You'll have 3 horns. Ugh, that's not very good.
Yeah, you got
So you don't want to do that.
4 extra gains, and then whatever you buy.
How
And he
much
has
are
no
his
money.
how much are his horns going to be worth?
I think he can get him up to 6. Necro and Butcher and Horn,
Necro, Butcher,
and then the 3
Workers
things he
Village,
has in
Ghost
play.
Ship, Apprentice, and
Horn.
Horn. He could get them up to 7 if he butchers into something else, but that doesn't particularly help you. And getting 6 costs isn't great. I
Let's
mean,
say
at
he
this point, you
Butchers
take
Ghost Ship
gold.
into Horn, draws it, then he can. Does he have
Isn't
enough
that
coin tokens to end the game?
isn't that well? He can and get enough points to overtake a colony lead.
Oh wait, yeah,
No.
never mind. I thought with only an estate he'd be fine, but
Um, I mean, he can butcher into a butcher, draw it, play a butcher, butcher into something else, draw it. Well, I don't think he can draw quite that much. He has 3 horns. He can get a 4th horn that he's playing. I mean, he
But then you have to be careful
actually
because Steph could end the
also
game.
also doesn't have enough coin tokens to do that. And yeah, you don't want to. And in fact, counterfeit. Yeah, I don't. So he's not going to be able to end it here. He needs to be able to set up for next turn. He needs to get more different cards. But I think like you need like golds and such. Just you need to be able to trash more expensive things. If Steph has a total dud hand, which we know he won't, but trying to think from Mick's point of view, what is the possible way he wins here? He needs Steph to have a dud. I guess that means you actually get the stuff that brings the game closer to ending, so that you can potentially get like. I guess here's the thing. If Steph does nothing, can Mick even set himself up to where he would win next turn?
I mean, Mick just has to get a colony this turn, doesn't he?
He can't.
Yeah, that's a problem. I don't see any way he can get a colony.
No, what's what I'm saying is he's gonna end up losing just because Steph's gonna be able to end it and well, Mick doesn't necessarily have to get a colony. He can take a lead.
Yeah, by trashing his horns.
By
butchering Ghost Ship into province.
4 duchies. Well, or 3 duchies in a province, or 2 duchies in a province and something. But
so JSH in the chat says, I knew Steph would win back when Adam said Mick would. I called it. And I mean, yeah, Mick's in bad shape now, but back when I called it, both parties have made decisions that we disagree with. So assuming that we are amazing at Dominion, then I'm not wrong.
The other thing is, like, the game's going to develop and things are going to change. There are going to be important decisions yet still. There's a lot of play left in the game because it's a good and interesting kingdom. DG says, no, Steph was in real trouble, and if the game extends at all, it should be Mick's. But I don't think the game is going to extend.
Yeah, I think
I agree with the gold because you need the gold. So he plays this. He's going to play his horns. He's got to gain some stuff.
He probably needs to get at least 1 counterfeit.
He probably, so he's getting Apprentice. He's getting. He's also going to have 5 money to spend. A counterfeit. I would seriously consider thinking about getting another gold here.
I like a second gold.
It's pretty good to trash, and you probably want to buy like a.
Probably want to buy a copper too, just for a unique.
Maybe a 4 cost, maybe Poorhouse.
Get a scavenger
Well, I mean,
bag.
he's still got to be able to draw stuff, so he's just going for counterfeits and another apprentice.
And apprentices. And I think he needs to buy a copper. I think he needs a copper.
Well, how many? He only has 6 uniques right now, so he's got to. How's he going to get to 8?
Butcher.
Which is the next.
I think he needs to start getting uniques as much as he can. Every dollar is a coin token not spent.
So here I'm assuming he would apprentice gold, but okay. Anyway, I don't think it's gonna.
Steph's screen.
Matter. Steph is going to play his Poorhouse here, I think. And then he's going to play his Workers' Village, and we'll see what he draws. Probably play another Poorhouse. Play another Workers' Village.
Steph's screen is loading slowly.
Ghost Ship. I mean, he's getting very close to. Can he end the game? If he butchers Workers' Village into a 5, counterfeits Platinum. No, that's not enough money, right?
He hasn't drawn his
He need,
horn.
he would need 12. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if he just does it right now.
Right, yeah. I think he needs to try and draw his horn. How close is he?
Uh, well,
One,
let's see.
two,
If he
three,
butchers
four.
Workers Village, that would get him one of them. He would have 11 from that. He'd have 19. He'd have 20. He's 1 5 cost short, so he probably needs to play the Workers Village here. And that is not really very good for him. But I guess if he gets a second, if he butchers Counterfeit into a 5 cost, again, the first thing you always have to check in in
I
these situations is, can I end the game, right? So if he butchers Counterfeit into Horner Ghost Ship, that cuts them down to 5. He plays Poorhouse. He plays Platinum. He would need 25 money. That's going to be, he would have 12. He would have 17. He'd have 19. So he can't do it.
given well, I mean, he can't end the
Well, he
game
wouldn't
right
even have
now.
19. It would be 18. So he can't end the game now. Given that he can't do that, what does he need to do?
I think he should empty piles. I mean, Mick's still going to have trouble getting a colony this turn.
Well, I think emptying piles is very dangerous because Mick is set up to have lots and lots of gains, and he can just get like 3 duchies or something, as well as
How many games
the
can
other
Mick have?
5. Well, Mick has 2 counterfeits and 3 horns of plenty.
I think he has 4, 3.
So
How many?
that's well. If you look at the end of what he did last turn,
Mm-hmm.
which I think Steph is actually looking at right now. He had 3. He has 3 horns of plenty and 2 counterfeits, and a gold, a butcher. So he would be able to.
Yeah,
He would be able to potentially.
5 horn gains, a butcher gain.
Well,
But I think he's got to counterfeit a gold in order to get colony.
you can counterfeit though, right?
Yeah, but that only gets you an extra $1 and a buy. He still can't play horn more than 5 times.
Sure, but the extra $1 might, and the extra buy might. Because again, piling poorhouses might be a thing as well.
Back to piling poorhouses. Yeah, Mixinock does have all of the workers' villages.
But okay, so that's 5 horn gains, and so if Steph would have gotten like 3 5 costs here to try to empty piles, between the butcher and 3 horn gains, then an actual buy. I math anyway. So he goes colony and counterfeit. Interesting.
Interesting.
So he apprenticed a ghost ship here, which makes a lot of sense. I think you probably want to apprentice gold now, which it's kind of hard though. Workers' villages.
I think you need to
You're
play.
going to play at
ship.
least one of them. Well, not necessarily. If you're going to end the game, then who cares about the attack?
Oh, I was thinking you're going to need them to draw. You'd rather overdraw with Workers' Village.
Well, okay, he's not going to end the game, so I don't know what I'm saying about that for. Yeah, there's no way he's ending the game. So you're going to want to play a ghost ship at some point, yeah. And now, what do you butcher into? The thing is, he has way more workers' villages than he needs, so I assume that's what goes down here. Like, that whole workers' village split thing, I don't think Like you just don't need that many, right? He has 6. He doesn't need nearly that many because Apprentice just works. So they spent a lot of time on that, or at least Mick did, and I don't think that it was the right move. And maybe, I mean, just because the game he has all these that he doesn't need doesn't necessarily mean it was wrong. If Steph was going to run away with it otherwise, but
He apprenticed the gold, which means he can't counterfeit it. I don't think Mick
well,
can even get a colony this turn.
what I'm saying is, well, he could butcher Workers' Village into gold, play Workers' Village.
Does that even get him up there? Counterfeit gold?
Well,
Yeah, that he still can't get a colony.
yeah, yeah, he can.
How?
Oh, no, wait, never mind, because he's got to use the tokens to get the gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't, but you're not playing to do that. Like, Steph is not. Well,
I think
yeah,
Mixinock is
but
in big trouble right now.
one colony isn't enough anyway. Well, what he needs to do is set up to get his horns worth 8. And the chat is growing restless that the game is taking so long. This is what endgames do, though. You really have to think. It's not easy.
I'm trying to think of some way that Mixinock can win from this position. Like, it's going to take him... He's going to have to give Steph...
Whoa. He's getting rid of the apprentice with Donald Trump. And he's going for another butcher. I guess that kind of makes sense. Oh, well, this is actually a way he could get a colony, right? Because he could turn this into a gold, and then he can draw that, and he has enough money to get a...
I guess he can force Steph to get another colony, but...
Well, you don't want to get a colony here. It doesn't do anything for you. You want to build up more. Yeah.
I mean, Steph can... He has 2 turns to empty piles if you don't get a colony.
I don't understand how he could be a coin short. How could he be a coin short? How is he scoring 20 points? I mean, I think the actual plan for him to win, there's 2 things he could potentially do. Is build his horns up and get 4 or 5 provinces or something, and then pile out like horns and poorhouses or something. But the other thing he can do is work to piling duchies and something else.
Horns. You need to get the horns to pile the duchies.
Horns or poorhouses. And in fact, could he have done that? No, he can't, because you have to get the horns. Well, 1 more counterfeit can get you 1 more gain, but that's only 6 still. You're gonna need at least 1 more Horn of Plenty. Someone in the chat is asking he could...
Empty duchies?
And he's...
You can get 6 of them. Then.
Yeah, he could have gotten 6. And is 1 money short from getting the 7th. But regardless, that seems awful. Because that's just... You have no economy after that, and Steph can win at his leisure by getting the last duchy and horns. I mean, he actually has like no economy. So he's turning in for provinces here, at least 1.
He can get 4 provinces this turn. Then he's got butchers as economy.
Wait a minute.
And it's 2 counterfeits and a gold.
3 provinces, 1 estate, 2 horns, and 7 poorhouses. Why would he get the estate? Oh,
To win the
wait.
game.
But
To
that's only
only lose by
19.
1 point. Yeah.
Oh.
Also, I don't know how he gets those horns.
So, let's see. If he would have horned, he could have gotten 4 provinces here.
If he was going to get a Horn of Plenty with that, with
I
a
think he should
province,
have. I think he seriously
should
misplayed. He should have
counterfeit
played.
the horn. Yeah.
No, he should have played 1. Oh, yeah.
If he's getting a province off a horn, he should have counterfeited. Just get 2 provinces.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing this turn.
He's seriously made a mistake. He's made a serious mistake. I've made a huge mistake. He could have gotten 4 provinces that way.
He could have gotten
Like
5.
Well, yes, but I don't think you want to get the 5th one because you need to be able to do something still.
Oh, sure. I know what you're saying now.
This is ugly. Whoa,
DG says
whoa.
the counterfeited horn doesn't gain on the second play. Well, you can still get more stuff though.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's what I was saying, is you play a Horn of Plenty to gain a Horn of Plenty, then counterfeit a Horn of Plenty, then counterfeit a Horn of Plenty. They're all going to see a Horn of Plenty in play if you Horn of Plenty for a Horn of Plenty first. This is what I'm saying, is the first, before you play your counterfeits, you play 1 Horn of Plenty to gain Horn of Plenty. Then you counterfeit a Horn of Plenty to gain 2 provinces. Then you counterfeit a Horn of Plenty to gain 2 provinces. Because if you've played the Horn of Plenty first, that Horn of Plenty, all the other Horns of Plenty see that first Horn of Plenty in play.
Yeah.
And it is a different card. So he could have gotten 4 provinces. And did he just get
He could have
duchy
gotten
with a Horn of Plenty?
Yeah, because of the thing you're talking about. He trashed his first horn, so it wasn't in play. That second horn, when he counterfeited the horn.
Oh, he counterfeited the Horn. Oh.
He counterfeited counterfeit.
Oh, okay. But what's his plan now? Is to pile out using Butcher?
I mean, it's a shot if Steph can't do anything for the next 3 or 4 turns. Maybe Butcher.
I guess. But yeah, I think if he would have played
provinces.
1 horn, probably 4 horns for not the number 4, but FOR horn first, possibly for some other 5 cost, you really need to think about it. And then he could have still gotten 4 provinces and had a horn and some other 5 cost and stuff left.
He could have drained more provinces. I mean, I think Mixinoc's path to victory here is butchering things into provinces, and those might be just provinces if Steph can't keep up in VP.
You think he's going to try to run the provinces out?
I think that's the only way he can win. That doesn't take as long as piling other stuff. He's out of horns.
I guess unless maybe Steph does something foolish with the 5 costs, getting them too low, and he can butcher 5s into 5s or something. And empty piles. But yeah, you're probably right. It probably does revolve. I mean, actually right now he could butcher a province into a colony on his turn, but
I think you'd rather butcher duchy into province for sure.
It's 1 fewer point.
Yeah. But I don't see Mixinoc winning this game like that.
I agree, although I'm not sure that it's not better to butcher Ghost Ship into province.
Right. I mean, if I was Mixinoc, I'd be butchering Ghost Ship into province on my turn.
So what does Steph do here? I would be tempted to. Well, I think I'd be tempted to actually play a workers' village.
You can apprentice counterfeit. I think you just get a colony.
I'm probably apprenticing counterfeit anyway. He has another one.
Right.
You know? But maybe you. No, yeah, you apprentice counterfeit, I think.
Is Steph looking at game log? No, he's silently thinking.
This is still, by the way, chat, this is still shorter than a game that these two played a few days ago.
This one's not over yet.
No, but they've got a while. They've got a while. I think it will end probably before. I think it will end up being shorter. Of course, that game had Ambassador, so you kind of expect it more. Okay. Ghost Ship. I think you want to probably attack him. Although I guess mixed deck is bad enough now that the attack is not that big a deal. I guess it probably is because Butcher. You want to see your Butchers very often if you're Mixinock. The number E is questioning whether the game actually will end ever.
I mean,
JSH357 says this is like a golf tournament, and if it's like a golf tournament, very quiet, polite claps would be in order.
when Steph plays an action card, we should applaud. He's hovering over the workers' village. Steph hovers over the workers' village.
And Mixinock and Steph are both discussing that previous hour-long game as well.
Oh, are they chatting with each other?
Oh yeah.
That's not making it into the stream. Oh, they're talking in the chat.
Yeah. So
that's what we're missing.
Mixinock has said this one is a little better than our last hour-long game. And Steph says, a little with the smiley face, and then he says, no, actually a lot better. Although I think my first $5 buy was terrible. Mixinock says, I do too. Steph says, how nice of you to agree. Mixinock says, but I obviously screwed something up because I was ahead. Steph says, I'll be kind and agree with you too.
Yeah, I don't know where the chat would go on this screen. There's just not enough room.
But I can't imagine Steph losing now because Mixinock doesn't have almost any economy, and he's going to be able to get a colony. Steph's going to be able to get a colony here. Does he want to make a fancy butcher play? I don't think so. At least not yet. He might butcher colony into or platinum into colony, but I think that's the extent of the fanciness. They hilariously could both have. Now he's counting things. They hilariously could both have like no economy left. They've both nuked their decks here.
Well, Steph, I think it would be a mistake for Steph to nuke his deck.
You think it would be a mistake for Steph to nuke his deck?
Yeah. I think one colony per turn is going to have Steph winning the game.
Oh, he can do that. Yeah, that will. Well, although he needs to make sure he gets more points than just a colony here.
Really?
Well,
I mean, what can Mixinock at best can like butcher two things?
I would be tempted if I were him. I would be tempted to buy a colony and a duchy. Um, and the thing is that the only way he's losing, well, because Butchered gaining stuff, whatever. And it's not like Mixinox going to have a lot of points, and then you can always just butcher the duchy back into something else later and probably redraw it. Well, this is a great hand that Steph's drawn.
There you go.
He'll probably just butcher or apprentice the counterfeit.
Mixinox goes for province into colony.
Interesting. I don't think that's what I would have done.
I think he needs empty provinces, but I said that already.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I also think he's losing no matter what, so I don't think it really matters. You are the Brute Squad.
I was hoping we'd get to hear a little bit of.
This is because
Bride.
JSH has commented in the chat that his wife is watching a show with the guy who played Vizzini in The Princess Bride. That guy's name is Wallace Shawn, by the way. Yeah, his last name is a first name. Don't you love that?
Steph apprenticed
he played
colony.
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy.
Why?
Yeah, why not?
Because the most he can get on one turn is one colony. He can't increase his point total.
Is that true? So here he's going to butcher the counterfeit into something.
What if he butchers?
He's going to play Workers' Village, butcher something, poorhouse. I mean, that just gets his poorhouses worth a little bit more. Yeah, you might be right.
How many uniques can he get into play?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he could get a province.
What if he butchers something into Horn, draws it, counterfeits, he can get 3 provinces. That's bad.
Can only get 2, because the Horn won't. The second Horn, the counterfeited Horn on the second game.
I thought I counted he could get 9 uniques.
Oh, I thought you said 8. I didn't count.
Let me recount that. Apprentice, Workers' Village, Counterfeit, Platinum, Poorhouse, Butcher, Horn, Ghost Ship. Yeah.
Okay.
He can get 3 provinces. I mean, that's bad. He'll lose. If Mixinox just gets 1 province, he wins the game.
Right. That does seem like a... Well, what else can he get, though? Because he can... Wait, can he get 4 provinces? Because he can buy something, too.
Oh! Yeah, that's a win! Hey, he's got coin tokens. Yeah, that's a forced win. Steph has a forced win here. He butchers Workers' Village.
Apprentice.
Oh, yeah, Apprentice. He already has one in play. Butcher Apprentice into Horn. Workers' Village to draw it. Play all the rest of the cards. Yeah, he's even got 4 houses for money.
He can... Well, he has the coin tokens. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a forced win.
Yeah, he has the coin tokens, so that's...
That's why he apprenticed the colony. He thought of this before we noticed.
Steph has commented in their game chat, "Man, these puzzles." And Mixinox says, "Yeah, I kind of hate them, but this one was pretty enjoyable."
Mixinox just messaged me in Skype. Please let the next board be fast. Alright, this was a fast board. 17 turns. Look at all the points you guys got.
And I think they actually butchered how they played. Full pun intended, of course.
Yeah. It could have been a lot faster. If they...
It could have been faster. I mean, this is... well, it's getting very close to being longer than the other game now. It's very, very close. Steph thinks he's $1 short, but I'm pretty sure he's not.
Oh, yeah. There's no way he's $1 short of anything.
I'm not sure what he's thinking about. that what his plan is that he's $1 short for. But he can definitely turn Apprentice into Horn, play
Hmm.
Workers Village, play Workers Village. Um, play a Poorhouse for 0. Play Ghost Ship. Uh, Play Platinum, Counterfeit Horn. Oh, now he says maybe not. Maybe he's coming around to this then.
Steph, hovering over the apprentice, contemplates his situation. Can he end the game on a win?
He's played the Butcher. He's counting. So he's counting uniques now. I think he's coming around to find it. There's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to recount these uniques. This is what I would be doing. I would be counting them like 3 or 4 times if I were playing. Apprentice, Workers Village, Butcher. Counterfeit, Platinum, Horn. Ghost Ship.
Poorhouse.
Poorhouse. That's only 8, isn't it?
Apprentice, Workers Village, Butcher, Counterfeit, Platinum,
Counterfeit, Platinum,
Poorhouse, Horn,
Poorhouse,
Ghost Ship.
Horn, and Ghost Ship. Okay. Yeah, wait.
Why did we have
Apprentice,
9
Workers
before?
Village, Butcher, Counterfeit, Platinum. Uh, 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 uh. If he hadn't played the Butcher, huh? I did not see that plan.
Steph says in the chat, I see a plan.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that the stream can't see that. Steph says, darn, I see a plan now where I win if I hadn't played this Butcher. But I'm not seeing... Mick Seanock says, in my turns I was playing stuff out of fear of disconnect before I knew what was best. Steph says, yes, me too.
What if he...
It looks like he's going to gain a Butcher, which just gets him more tokens, right? Because he's going to end up butchering a Workers Village into something and drawing it, whatever it would be. His best shot, JSH in the chat says, his best shot is to buy out Prov, right? I don't think it is if he can't get his horns up to 8. Well, he can get his horns up to 8, but he can't get enough of them up to 8 because the counterfeited one won't be.
How much money can he have?
Wait a minute. He can do but he can do this, right? He can butcher into some other card, right? He can butcher. Does he have enough actions? He can butcher. Yeah, he can. Here, look. He can butcher Poorhouse into silver. Then play his Workers Villages. Oh wait, no, because he needs to gain another horn. Never mind. That is okay. That is 8 uniques, right?
Yeah, he should have exactly 8 of them.
Which the second counterfeited horn doesn't get a province in. Wait a minute. Can he pile the duchies? If he turns Ghost Ship into, say, duchy, what
he would need to turn it into horn. That's still only 2 piles.
Well,
Butchered a poorhouse into a copper for a unique.
oh yeah, into a horn, which he can then use to gain a duchy. Uh,
Yeah, I think leaving 2 provinces in the supply is smart. Is he going to buy a colony here now?
oh, he's ending
Oh.
the game, right?
Oh, yeah, he
Did we
bought 2
miscount?
provinces.
Oh, he could just buy 2 provinces. Okay.
Yes, much better. Strictly better.
Yeah, that works.
All right, well, that happened. Steph wins. Good job. Well, Steph won the game. How about that?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm sending Mixenoch the second kingdom, and I've asked Steph to decrease the quality slider. He said yes. Of course, everyone saw that he said yes.
So, pretty sure that that game was indeed longer than,
An hour and 18 minutes.
well, I think it didn't start sharp at 20.
Now we get to see this trippy combination of Goko lobbies
What trippy combination of Goko lobbies? I don't
on the
understand.
stream.
Oh, of Goko lobby streams, of screens. I can't talk. JSH is rooting for a big money board.
I don't. I'm not gonna say how many of these are big money boards in my humble opinion.
Imho. Is someone supposed to go first? I don't remember how this
Just
works.
3 people, three games for each person going first.
Okay, great.
So this,
Are we keeping track of that?
I think Mixenoch is.
You hope
That's
Mixenoch is?
that's their problem. That's not my problem.
Okay, great.
So this board, we played this one several times.
And we did not come up to a definitive conclusion.
Yeah, on what's best.
We were going to play it again, and it was just like, eh.
We'll let them figure it out.
One of the options that we tried to make sure that the fun police shouldn't rain on everyone's parade was indeed big money, which I don't think is the craziest thing here ever.
Yeah,
But it is bad.
Yeah, that
it
lost
does lose
pretty handily. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one that I'm most sure is not good.
So there are 2 things here that both seem viable to both of us, right?
I think there's actually more than 2.
Oh, well
okay.
then I'm gonna say my 2, and then you can go
Sure.
on to the other things. So the first one is a double tactician deck. There's Jester and Fortune Teller to enable that with Bazaar,
Yeah.
and then potentially Counts Room for more draw, and even Death Cards you can work that in. There's a nice interaction between Fortune Teller and Jester. You play a Fortune Teller, you play a Jester, and Jester guaranteed gives them a curse as long as they have a green card, which is, I mean, they're going to.
Unless they have them all in hand.
Or they've used Traitor, but that's about it. So that's a thing, and I mean it's pretty good to give them purples. Problem is Bazaars are in short supply. I mean, Bazaar split becomes an issue there. The other thing,
well, I actually think the bigger issue with that is the deck isn't very reliable because you actually need to have council rooms to be able to draw all that. That is a lot of cards that don't draw, and you want to be able to make sure you can play your tactician every turn and play all those cards, which means you need some council rooms, and that means you need a lot of Bazaars. You're right. I mean, you're right. Bazaar is a thing, but you've got to play several council rooms, and you're not actually all that reliable to double tack.
Def just opened Tactician.
Interesting.
The other thing is you build a similar deck, only you just don't go for double Tactician, and so you're getting your money from Silver instead of Fortune Teller and Jester. Silver Gold instead of Fortune Teller and Jester.
I don't think you necessarily need silver gold with that deck. You can get fortune tellers and jesters and such, but you play kind of a you can play an engine with council room as the draw anyway. I don't think that's very good. Um, but you can play a deck which doesn't need council rooms. It's going to have bazaars, jesters, bakers, fortune tellers, and it's probably going to have some silvers and golds because you don't want to overload your bazaars. So you can play that kind of a deck. In that kind of a deck, you probably don't want Death Card. Um,
Right.
you can also build a single tactician deck and just not worry about getting the double tack.
Oh, yeah, well, for sure. I think the engine is probably helped by a single tactician, don't you?
Uh, Probably, but it's not a sure bet.
So
Um,
the two of them here appear to be both going for double tactician. They're both buying fortune teller over silver pretty aggressively.
yeah,
The big difference is Steph opened tactician and he has not. And now then he's going for bazaar, so he's not getting any jesters. And I think jester's
right,
very important here because the trashing's just not worth it to go for. And so jester
right.
as a
Well,
junking attack can be very significant. Mixinock opened jester.
yeah, I don't like opening tactician here. Although, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's Steph is Steph. It's not the worst thing I could think of for sure. Um, I think they're actually probably both going to run into this problem somewhat. Um, which we ran into in the practice games, right? Of they don't have enough stuff. Like their deck's going to be
Bazaars.
bloated and unreliable.
Yeah. They're both playing very quickly, though. I think that has a lot to do with the pace of the last game.
Being so slow. I
Yeah.
mean, there's decisions on what you buy, but how you play is really simple here, as opposed to last time there were a bunch of mid-game or mid-turn gains and stuff, and
That's true. Leopold in the chat says, I'm not sure how good Fortune Teller Jester combo is. Giving a curse is not much better than giving copper or gaining a good card. So I mentioned that, and I think it's most relevant if the double tactician deck is playing something like big money or something that's not the double tactician deck. I mean,
well,
but
the other
even then,
the
go
other thing is the points are going to matter. Like the game's if the game's close at all, which there's a reasonable likelihood of it being, the points will matter. You know, it's not like whose line is it anyway. The points do matter.
and I mean, if you are running a double tactician deck, you
By the
are going to
way,
be using both Fortune Teller and Jester for your money, right? If you, I mean, however many bazaars you can support Fortune Teller and Jester, like you're going to alternate them, and you're going to be playing them in that order, and that's a nice effect of it. But
by
anyway,
the
go
way,
ahead.
there's also some synergies potentially with Market Square Death Card Trader, but I don't think that can compete at all on this board because other stuff's too good.
Hmm.
I don't I don't think Mixinock is really going for double tactician. In fact, pretty sure he isn't because he only has one tactician. He's already bought two provinces, so
Yeah,
he's going for more of a single tactician kind of deck.
and
Which
this is the kind of thing that you beat me with pretty badly. Of course, I had
and
bad draws in that game.
yeah, I think that really kind of is the way to go on this board in the long run.
I mean, it's pretty quick, and it's hard for a double
He's
tactician player to
really
catch
going
up.
hard on death cards now, which I'm not real sure about, but
Mixinock. Oh, he wants to be able to
yeah,
spike provinces. I get it.
I guess, but it seems a little bit early because
Yeah, I think
I don't
one
know.
is questionable. One is perhaps too much.
Here, see, yeah, with so many fortune tellers already, silver's just got to be. I kind of like his position still,
Mixinock?
but yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
Steph
just
is,
how reliable is Steph's deck? He has
and
a
it doesn't
council room
have a big
now.
payload yet. I mean,
Yeah, I mean
what's the
it's
payload?
so hard to get. You have to have so many bazaars, even to just single province every turn, right?
Hmm.
Um, you need to play probably four bazaars, and then one jester and one fortune teller, and then you can have a couple council rooms and your tactician, I guess. But you're not gonna. It's basically impossible to double province with it. except maybe on
If
your
you're
last turn.
contested, yeah.
Well, they're going to buy bazaars, though, is what I'm saying.
Right, Mixinuk has already gotten a few bazaars.
And they're going to be greening and stuff. I don't know. So Mixinox says, I don't know why I bought market squares, though. Steph says he knows why he bought them, but even that was marginal.
Well, right, yeah, if you...
Mixinox says, show off. I'm pretty sure the reason that Mick bought them is, well, he had three or so to spend, and he had nothing else to do. He
Yeah.
could potentially also pile out curses, which, I kid you not, does come up occasionally in this board.
That's a thing. Especially if Steph is already going to start giving out curses with the Fortune Teller Jester combo.
Well, both of them. I mean, the one who's given out curses right now is actually only Mixinox has given Steph one curse.
Yeah, he's the only one that has a Jester.
See, but like this hand is a really good example of the deck's just not reliable. It didn't find the second Tactician. There's so much junk in it. And Trader is trashing, just it doesn't get the job done. So Steph may take a lead here soon. Playing the Council Room is a bit risky. I mean, I guess it just finds you the Tactician, but Mixinox is definitely getting to Province, you have to imagine, as Steph even there, because you know he has a Tactician hand, and you've just given him some extra.
Ooh, Survivor's play right there.
Yeah.
Nice work.
This is not a great hand for all that went into it, and from Mixinox's perspective.
He wanted more.
But on the other hand, he's getting close to just being there VP-wise, and you know he's going to get that death card. He had to trash the one because he couldn't find it with an action, but...
yeah, it's going to be tough for Mixinox to lose this game, given that he can Province now.
Right, Steph's going to have to get lots of duchies.
And the chat is saying Steph is way ahead and Mick is toast. That's just straight up different than our commentary, because, you know, Mixinox just won the game. There it is.
Yeah.
Well played.
Yeah, I think Mixinox kind of hit on the right thing, and Steph hit on the thing that we thought was going to be good for quite a while.
Yeah. It took us a few games to even think about that, and I never mentioned that Kingdom was submitted by JW. I want to get that in. Thank you, JW, for submitting that.
Yeah, it was a great Kingdom.
Yeah.
It was a great Kingdom.
That's like super difficult to play that right. Okay, the next Kingdom has been sent to Mixinox.
So that was like a 10-minute game?
Yeah. Oh, Steph is typing to me.
They were saying something in that game chat about banning something and changing the rules for next season, but I did not understand what that was.
Okay, the next Kingdom... Yeah, looks like Mixinox just making it. Alright, this next Kingdom was submitted by myself and E. Me and I played this in one of our matches, and we both thought, yeah, this definitely needs submitted. And it passed the scrutinies of the other people who look at this stuff. I think the big rock star on this board is Prince. And the big question is, how much do you go for Prince?
I know in the game I played with you, you had a continuance of your Urchin luck. Which, man, there have been like 5 or 6 games in the past few weeks where you've had Urchin, and you just like can't catch a break.
3 shuffles, can't collide them.
On like all of them.
Yeah. You make your own
and
shuffle
that's
luck.
Getting like 4 or 5 Urchins, getting Urchin like every turn.
Oh yeah. Leopold says, incorrect, the big rock star is always Watchtower. And Watchtower does play an important role on this board because, first of all, it's draw. It's arguably the best source of draw on the board. But second of all, the only village here is Bandit Camp.
I want to contest that statement. that it's arguably the best source of draw on the board.
Well, there's
I
Prince,
want to
but
I want to contest that because there's really no arguing.
I mean, Prince is the only other source of draw. It's the only other way to increase your hand size. So yes, you have to open double urchin here, but and hopefully the game isn't decided after 2 shuffles because that would be really unfortunate.
So you go, you're obviously urchin to trashing down, and then the question is where do you go from there? Because you're gonna want to do something. I'm pretty sure you want to do something with bandit camps because you want to play terminals, and then probably bridges, and
For
then
sure.
possibly prince, and most certainly watchtower because you need to draw stuff.
Yeah, I think there's a place for 1 or 2 storerooms in the deck, depending on how much terminal space you can come up
Potentially,
with.
and depending on how your shuffles go.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
your
mean,
shuffles are really going to determine a lot.
this is true. Shuffles do determine a lot, and knowing, getting a really good feel for the power level of Prince, I think knowledge of Prince is what this kingdom tests. You know. The other cool thing is there's an option here. I mean, Bandit Camp gives you treasures, which I mean are really bad for the deck you want to build. So you have a couple options. Option number 1 is play it with a Watchtower in hand, trash the spoils. And in the game I played with E, that happened. Like between the two of us, we just emptied the spoils pile. Hi Lexi, I have a dog here. She's a golden retriever, and she is very excited to see me. The other option is just to keep your mercenary around and constantly discard attack, which, I mean, depending on draws,
Well,
is not terrible.
I was doing that in my game against you, but eventually what happens is you can't play the mercenary anyway because the spoils run out.
Right.
But also just playing them at the end of your turn was happening too.
The
And it
spoils.
wasn't that bad. Yeah, yeah.
This is true. So both of them collided their urchins on the first shuffle. That's a good thing because now it's still interesting.
Well, yeah, yeah. I think I posted something in the forums earlier today, in fact, that I think people can get too worked up over things like urchin. Although, I mean, you've had it so consistently bad luck in your last several. It's like really,
Lexi,
really remarkable.
come here, come on. Oh. I have a
But,
fully grown golden retriever on my lap now. In fact, I feel like I can stream this, right? Hold on, I gotta plug in my webcam.
You no. I don't want to break the stream during the championship match. Also, where does it fit on the screen, man?
It's gonna go over stuff.
Okay.
Mm.
Break the internet.
What? Oh no. Did something bad happen? I might have broken the stream. Okay, sorry. Never mind. I apologize for what I've done. You'll just have to trust me. There's a very adorable
Oh
dog.
my gosh, what did you do? Meanwhile, in the game,
Yeah. Anyway,
what's going on?
so neither one of them has a bridge yet. Neither one of them has a
No.
prince yet. Who
No,
has 2
but I don't
bandit
think
camps?
you want to go.
That would be
Well,
Steph.
one of them didn't get a third urchin. One of them got a baker instead of the second bandit camp.
So this is it looks like Steph has a big lead. He's got
Yeah,
a baker and
Steph
2
has
bandit
the
camps.
baker,
And now that bridge.
and
Steph's in great shape.
but I think he's probably less trashed because I think Mixinox's the one with the 2 who went the double urchin.
And double
And
mercenary,
he
you
has
mean?
yeah, triple urchin. Excuse me.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
So I think kind of a cool thing that can happen here is, you know, once you get your first prince, there are 2 prince targets that really stand out. Number 1 is urchin because you've got them and it's non-terminal. I mean, you kind of have to print something non-terminal here. And the second thing is
I don't necessarily agree. You can Prince Bridge.
okay, well you can, but I just think it's if you had your choice of any prince target in this deck, I would print something non-terminal.
I mean, I think it's usually better. Steph has
Ooh,
gotten to
this is
Prince here,
a
and he's going to be able to Prince his Urchin.
Mixenoc has a rough draw. He's forced to trash his Necropolis, which is like a super good Prince target here. So that's
It's
unfortunate.
okay.
I think it's really good here. But you know, if you can get a bridge in play, you can Prince Baker or Bandit Camp, which is also really really good. And that's JSH
So
said that.
if Steph just discarded his spoils um to the Urchin, I think I would have been inclined to discard the Baker actually, because you could play Bandit Camp and then probably trash the spoils with the Mercenary. But he's holding out for a bad card, and I would have really been tempted to go the other way there. Interesting. So he's going to play Bridge, Watchtower. I guess he knows that he has a bunch of coppers left, and he's probably likely to draw without. Yeah, I mean, I think this game's very, very close to over.
Yeah, Steph is really far ahead.
He really basically needs to get more cards that give him plus buy now, just because he's generating
Yep, he needs
quite
to
a lot
get
of money.
bridges and the actions to play them.
I mean, he could actually just double province possibly every turn. But I think that's just worse.
You
than...
don't want to give your no. I double province here.
I don't know. I don't think that's good, particularly with Watchtower, as cards like Province, cards that you can't trash or get rid of or go past play, are not good with Watchtower. Um, yeah, this is pretty dreadful for Mixenoc. And Princing a Pearl Diver is, I don't even know if it's worse than Princing an Urchin.
It's
I guess
about the same.
It's very close to the same. And now we can see here he could play Bridge and Prince Baker.
Alan says Mixenoc
at some point
did actions on first shuffle. I'm pretty sure I saw him do that on turn 4. I mean, that would explain it. Of course, Mercenary missing the next shuffle would also explain it.
So here we might see Bridge, Prince Baker, and go. We might see Prince. So he's going to Prince the Bridge here. He's going to, I assume, play the Watchtower. Oh, I guess he wants to top deck stuff, maybe? No, okay. Yeah, he's just doing this. And now he can top deck. Looks like he wants to get...
Didn't hear you.
Are we hearing your fiance?
The dog really wants to be on both of our laps at the same time, and this is not possible because she is standing.
I see. She being your fiance, not the dog.
The dog is a she, but
she is standing was referring to
you are correct. Yes.
Okay.
JSH says, I hear a grill and Doge hype. You are the grill, Megan. That means girl in streamer language.
I don't know that that's necessarily streamer language so much as nerd speak. There's an episode of The Simpsons. There's an episode of The Simpsons, and this is a really bad stereotype, by the way, but there's some convention for, I think it's Stargate.
Actually,
and,
Megan would know this. There's an episode of The Simpsons where there's a convention for nerds. What's the convention for?
I'm pretty sure it's Stargate because it's Richard Dean Anderson. Yeah, Richard Dean Anderson. Because so Marge's sisters love MacGyver, and Richard Dean Anderson plays MacGyver on MacGyver, right?
At least it's not a blue dog. I'm sorry, that was amazing. Thank you, Ella, for that. That was pretty funny.
So, MacGyver, yeah. So they kidnap him from a Stargate convention, and And when he like the lights go out and he disappears, and then they come back on and he's not there, and they're like, oh, he must have, there must be a Stargate in this very room,
Of course.
and and uh, and then groundskeeper Willie is there, and they're like, oh, it's a girl, and they all like mob him, and he's like, I'm wearing a bloody kilt.
JSH says, now the stream just needs a paid sub button and a face cam, and Dominion will have finally made it. I tried face cam while playing Dominion. It was not popular.
Because it has a Doge and a grill.
Yes.
All that it's missing is a face cam and a sub button.
Yeah, the face cam
a month.
The face cam doesn't work because where would you put it on the screen, right?
50% because the layout of the actual window is just so well designed.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is why you don't have to go to a second page or anything. Oh wait,
So Mixinox probably he's finally having some turns. He's finally having some turns, but he has no princes, and I think he only has one bridge.
Although I'm actually surprised at how well he's doing.
Yeah, I mean he's doing very well, but Steph is just
lost,
several turns ahead. I mean, what do you think you do in Mixinox's case? I mean, I think you go hard for green.
You lose. Yep.
Yeah, okay, you do lose. I think he does have 2 watchtowers, and Steph only has 1, so that's something. I think Steph wants to get, a second watchtower, maybe a storeroom for reliability.
Patio Doris says that I am PJ Salt.
Is that a Twitch emote?
It is. It makes a little salt icon.
Yes.
I don't see how I'm salty, but okay. No, I mean
you were being salty on my behalf.
Was I?
Yeah,
I was being sarcastic. Is that what salty is? Really?
Salty means whining about bad luck.
Yeah.
You were whining about my bad luck. I guess that's salty. You were pointing it out.
Okay.
You were pointing out my urchin luck.
So, I mean, I actually absolutely think Mix played it well, because Steph doesn't have a super clear play here.
Yeah, I mean,
I probably... Well, I mean, oh wait, he can get 5 provinces.
That's not a super clear play. It totally is a super clear play. Well, I don't know. Yeah, 5 provinces is probably good.
How many bridges? He has 4 bridges, which means Mick only has 1. Which means he can't do anything, really.
Yeah, I think 5 provinces is pretty good.
It's going to be a couple turns.
You get
looking like he's not going to do that. He's hovering over the bridge.
I mean, 4 provinces and a bridge is actually bad. Okay.
It's quite bad.
3 provinces and 2 building cards is probably okay.
Did Mixinox go first? In that case, it's not.
Oh yeah.
Bad. But I think you spend 1 token, you buy 5 provinces, and then you have 4 tokens, and you're going to have a bridge in play.
So he builds even more, which is probably fine.
It's going to win. This is going to win, but I think just going for the provinces was better.
I think, it might have been a higher percentage play to build more.
I don't think so. I think it's a lower percentage play. I think it's like, well, actually, I take that back. I think they're both 100% plays, but I would have done it the other way. I mean, he's certainly fine holding up.
Building more pretty much guarantees that, especially getting the storeroom and a second watchtower, which were great plays, by the way. I think that pretty much gives you a 100% chance of winning the game the following turn.
I agree that it's 100. It's probably 100%. I guess I could try to figure out whether there's some weird way it's not.
Draws 5 bridges.
But
something.
I'm a little bit intrigued that he got rid of the storeroom there, but whatever. This is fine. This is absolutely the right play from Mixinox, but it's just going to be too little, too late. Because Steph should be able to, I assume, Well,
I don't like playing the Pearl Diver first. You want to have mercenary food if you need it. I'd play Pearl Diver after Vandekamp. But, I mean, that
yeah,
doesn't matter.
probably. So he's going to play bridge, watchtower.
Yeah. Steph's in great shape.
And actually, I think just a bridge would have been enough, but storeroom can skip the mercenary, but it doesn't matter.
He's got the win in his hand already.
Yes.
Even
4
without.
provinces and a duchy if he feels like it, or a estate, or whatever. 2 duchies if he feels like it.
Oh, he is discarding spoils for cards. Maybe because he knows he can draw them anyway. Then he would have.
In fact, he should play mercenary here if he wants more money.
Why?
And why not? Why not?
Oh, because I didn't see he had spoils in his draw pile.
It obviously doesn't matter, and he's going to make way more money than he needs.
Yep. But it's good practice to spend all your coin tokens if you're going to end the game, just in case you mathed wrong.
I don't know about that, because the issue is you're giving more chances for the software,
end turn.
the server to screw up. I'm not even kidding. I've had that happen.
Oh, wow. That's really unfortunate.
Okay. So can we go back and check and see if because Steph is saying, sorry, terribly unfair draws. And Mixinox says, why? It's like we're playing Dominion. I mean, he's right. This happens sometimes. This happens, probably 30-40% of the time. One of you just has much better draws with any kind of reasonable play.
Yeah.
But well, maybe not. That's a problem. That percentage is just completely made up, but a significant amount.
I have a very happy dog right now. Yeah, that's you. You're the happy dog. So if I understand this correctly, Mixinox needs to win 2.5 games in order to take the championship. So Steph needs to win 4. I think that's correct.
So I'm pulling up the log of that game right now to see.
Oh yeah. What happened to Mixinox?
Wait, that's not. Hold on. Whoops, that's not the right, because I was looking pro and I need to look unrated. And Steph collided turn 3. Mixinox did not collide on turn 3 or 4. He collided on
turn 5?
Turn 6.
Oh, okay. Then I just did not see that, and I failed at my only job.
And that's what I feel about Urchin, because that basically was the game.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are way too hard, and they're like, "Oh, well, that's just the game, and there's no skill or whatever," and that's not true. Like, you have to play it well still.
Oh yeah. Okay, this kingdom was also submitted by JW.
Yeah, this one was.
This is definitely a change of pace from what was going on. It definitely, I mean, an engine is totally not possible here. It's just not going to work. There's no trashing curses and.
Theoretically, well, there's loan.
There's no trashing curses. Is what I was trying to say.
Oh, sure.
But there's several tunnel enablers here. You got Golem, Oasis, Vault, even Loan. Yay! Oh, Steph just opened 5-2.
Which is probably a huge advantage.
That's a big deal.
Not necessarily.
I think it's
I
a big
assume
deal.
he gets embargo here.
Witch embargo the witches.
I mean, you obviously just buy a witch through it anyway, but
yeah,
if he can get that down before Mixinox can buy a witch, it's So
I just lost my Doge, guys. Goodbye,
no,
Doge.
Not your Doge. It's not a feral Doge, is it?
What was that? What'd you say, Wondering Winder?
I said it's not a feral Doge, is it?
She's been fixed, if that's what you're asking.
That is not what I'm asking, but okay. I don't think dogs need to be fixed. I think that they're not broken, as they blah 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 blah. But as Bob Barker always says, help control the pet population. Get your pet spayed or neutered.
I just don't. I always get the words mixed up.
So
I
which
just
spay it is and which one
yeah.
neutered
So
is?
that's why I say fixed.
Okay, sure. No, I know. I just like having fun.
You deserve to have fun. So, mixing up.
Yeah, this board. Oh, cool. So Steph's gonna win.
Yeah.
Mixinock is doing basically what I wanted to do. In our practice game.
I think Lone is a good opening. Well, hi Doge, you're back.
Because you want to get to Witch, but Oasis Lone actually is reasonably likely to get you there. I think you want to trash down those coppers and then eventually go for tunnels. But the thing which ended up happening was like the Oases ran and the curses ran and then like the tunnels ran in our game.
Oh yeah, and then I greened like a turn earlier, and then I got lucky, and then I won anyway, even though your strategy was better.
I don't know that my strategy was better. Wow, Steph is going for potion here, or he's thinking about it. I also don't know that I would have gotten vault. I would have been inclined to get gold.
Second witch? Even after
Well,
embargo?
No. Mixinock bot. Oh, you're saying
I'm saying
you would?
Steph might have gotten a second witch through the embargo instead of that vault.
I don't think that that's good.
Okay.
Because just the marginal benefit to to winning the curse split goes down a lot, particularly after it's embargoed.
Okay.
Like,
I mean, I wasn't saying
where you win it, like maybe 6-4 instead of like vault. I think has to be better than Witch there. I don't know.
I mean, Golem's probably not terrible on this board. I mean, you want to find your action cards. Your deck can use the Golem's ability because it's gonna have a bunch of crap in it. Tunnel is great.
Sure.
With that.
Sure.
So there's something to the potion, and I don't think that necessarily means Steph is trying to build something resembling an engine.
Well, it means he wants Golem.
Yeah. But I'm saying you need Golem for the engine, but I think you can go for Golem without going for the engine. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's true. Does he have enough economy? He probably does. I mean, wait, his deck is... What is his deck? He doesn't have any... I mean, he had... it's not going to be reliable. He has a very low chance of drawing. Well, he hit it. Because he doesn't have a silver, right? So it was just...
Oh, yeah.
Or wait, does he have the silver?
I don't think... No, Mixinock definitely has the silver. I remember his Lone hitting it.
I don't think I would have bought a silver if...
I mean, Oasis is just so good on this board, right? I think I would prefer Oasis to silver until the Oases are gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I think... Again, the initial luck of the first couple shuffles here really just put Mixinock in a bad way.
With the potion and the curses out and the colonies, with potions and colonies, we don't get to see the curses. So there are 6 curses left in the pile, and I'm going to try and announce that since the stream can't see it. 5 now. 5 curses left.
Yeah, so Steph only has 1, and Mick has 4.
Yeah. Of course, yeah, you can look at point counter to get a idea of
Steph has 1 tunnel.
Okay. Yeah, 4 curses left.
Now they're both into the golems, which is something that I don't think we went for in our practice game.
I think we had this. I mean, the game was over really quickly, and
yeah,
we never thought early on that it would be okay. Of course, the embargo on witches, I think, affects that, because now you definitely only want 1, and we were getting
sure,
like
yeah,
2 witches
yeah.
each, and Now they have other
Well,
$4 buys that they could do.
the embargo wasn't doing anything meaningful in terms of. This is a little bit gross because do you play the witch here? Yeah, he doesn't because he doesn't want all this stuff to miss the shuffle.
Leopold asks, what's the record for how many times each has been league champion so far? Mixenoch has been league champion thrice. I think it was seasons 1, 2, and 4. And Steph won season 3. And these are the only 2 league champions we've ever had.
And Steph is looking at the log here. So what would you get here on 8? I'd be inclined to get a province.
I think province is super good. Yeah.
I think you probably just run he's getting a woodcutter. Oh my gosh, he's a madman. Not the card madman, but oh my god.
I
don't think that.
I really don't like that.
I really dislike that because that's also terminals for your golem. Like, your golem's going to be a lot worse.
Well, I don't know that makes a big difference. It could, but I'm not positive that it does.
I also don't see what it's doing for you. Are you really trying to build up to double colony turns? I think you just want to be getting 1.
I mean, there are 3 curses left in the pile. What are other piles that could run here?
Well, nothing's really in danger right now. The next most endangered pile is Golem.
Yeah, that's not a pile that can be in danger.
Well,
I try not to think of potion piles as being low.
Yeah, I already ate with little confusion. Step out over that one.
Man, I heard your fiance, and then I thought of another Princess Bride quote, but
Oh?
I don't want to say that.
Your
Yeah.
pig fiance is too late?
That is the exact quote.
Yes.
But I don't want to insinuate that your fiance is a pig.
She's not.
I don't think that she is.
Yes.
So that's why I don't want to insinuate it.
Ella suggests that instead of double colony turns, Steph could be building up to colony plus building card turns.
I guess, but
I mean,
meh.
I just don't think that that's very good either. I think you could just go straight for VP. But I mean, Steph's winning by enough; he can probably do whatever he wants.
Yes, it's fine. I don't think it's best. It's fine. Whatever. So they somehow tied the curse split.
You sure?
No, wait, no. It's 6-4.
Tunnel. Yeah, there's a tunnel involved here.
It's 6-4.
Yeah, the curses are out, and Steph only has
Mick
4.
only lost at 6-4, which is, I think, better than you expect, given
Yeah, given the embargo and yeah.
given which and embargo on which before
Yeah.
Mick could buy one.
For sure.
So he trashes the potion, and here, I don't know what you do. You cry in your sleep softly.
With 8? With 8, I think you should get a province.
I think you should buy a duchy.
Yeah, the game's probably far enough from over.
Maybe
that could be
a
better.
tunnel. No, I'm saying I don't think he can win, but I think you have to play to win, and the only way he possibly could win. Should he have thought about? Should he think about discarding the witch here? Does he have? I don't know how many actions. Oh, I guess he has caravans. Never mind. But I think like a long duchy duke thing is more likely to
beat colonies.
Yeah.
I think it's close.
I mean, you're not beating them with provinces. I don't know why Steph didn't discard more stuff.
Okay, yeah. If it's a choice between provinces and Duchy Duke, sure, Duchy Duke is better. You're right.
That's yeah. Although actually, I wouldn't have hated a tunnel. but I guess that ship's kind of sailed. Steph really building. Um,
He got
he got Golem Caravan
Golem
there
Caravan.
with the 11 potion. I mean,
okay.
it's fine.
I don't know. How does Steph plan on winning the game? Piling colonies? If
Doing
if Mick
anything.
does Dutchy Duke, he's got to get 8 colonies. So I guess he has to
Well,
build.
Not necessarily. I mean, Steph can also just buy some duchies, as JSH points out.